So guys, we have to start with NAT. NAT stands for Network Address Translation. फौरन रिकॉर्ड ठीक है. अब यार okay, first of all, what is NAT? Only then I can make you understand what is the need of. Fine. Now guys, what is NAT? NAT is a device, or sorry, NAT is a protocol, or NAT is a technology which is used to make communication possible between private and public IP addresses, which is used to make communication possible between private and public IP addresses. Okay. If I am not concerned about a local network, let's say what I am saying, this is a router, this is your company, this is one more router, this is your company. You know, here the network, the IP addresses you will be running will be called private. Here the IP addresses you will be running are called public, and here the IP address you will be running are again called private. There is a range from every class that is already reserved for private and public. From every class we have a range. Now you ask me, sir, what is this range? So I don't know. I actually don't know. Why should I remember shitty things? You can check it on Google anytime. Fine. Now the concern is, the main concern here is that if I want communication from private to private, is it possible? If I want company in Gurgaon can communicate with company in Amritsar, is it possible? Yes. No, it is never possible. Why? Why? I am giving you a reason now. Here, all devices have information about which network? Public. Here, all devices are using which IPs? Private. Here, all devices are using which IP? Private. Okay. Let's say here I am using 10's network, here I am using 20's network. But ISP don't know about 10 and 20. Will they able to communicate? No. Will they able to communicate? Is it possible? No. So first thing that must exist in your mind, that private to private communication over internet is by default not, what word I used? By it is possible, but the technology which is used to make this thing possible is called VPN. It's called VPN. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. By default, private to private communication is not possible. This thing is clear? Now, there will be a question in your mind, sir, I am accessing Google. How I am accessing? Yes or no? You are still using a private IP, but you are able to use a public IP. That is because on your end router, on your edge router, on your end router, you are running a technology called NAT. You are running a technology called NAT. Okay, what is NAT? NAT stands for Network Address Translation. What it will do? Try to understand it. Now, let's say my private network is of 10 series, 10.0.0.0/24. Fine. When I have to connect to internet, what I have to buy? I have to purchase, or you can say I have to buy a public IP. I have to buy a public IP. मेरे को अपने पेन गिरने का रीजन तो पता चल गया. अरे मजाक. देखो, I have to buy a public IP. Now, if I send traffic on internet by using my private IP, is it possible for internet to understand who I am? No. इंटरनेट को कभी पता नहीं चलेगा मैं कौन हूं. क्यों? Why? Because like me, there are million of people who are using the same private IP. This thing is clear? There are million of users who are using the same private IP. So what this device will do? This device will translate private into public. Which public? The public IP ISP has provided me. ISP know me by that public IP. So whenever my traffic will go outside my network, in that traffic there is no private IP. There is always a public IP. That when the traffic will come back, this router will again translate public into private. Public into private. This thing is clear? It means NAT is a process of translating either private into or public into private. Now, why this thing is beneficial? This thing is beneficial because I am using the same private IP, you are using the same private IP, all of us are using the same private IP, but still we can communicate with internet. We can reuse private IP addresses again and again. Why NAT was discovered, you know? Because we had a shortage of IPv4 addresses. That's why we come up with NAT. This thing is clear? This thing is fine? Now, we will discuss these things in more detail, what will happen. Fine? Let's say this is a user. Switch, router. Who is this person? This is also router. This is a switch. This is a user. Fine. Here he is running a network. Here he is running a network. Same network. Fine. ISP, between ISP and router we are running a network 200.200.200.0/20/30. Fine. We are running .1 here and .2 on ISP side. Here we are running the network 200.200, sorry, let's say /30. .2 here, .1 here. Any problem? Now, whenever this guy will send the traffic, his source IP is 10.0.0.1. His source IP is, whenever traffic will reach this router, first of all, I have to divide this routers into zones. This is called, second is called, first we have the interface which is connected to the ISP will be considered in the interface which is connected to the LAN or which is connected to my internal network will be considered in inside zone. Any problem? No. Next thing. See, this interface will be called, fine. This particular interface is called, why it is called inside? Because it belongs to my private network. Why it is called outside? Because it belongs to public network. Yes or no? Yes. Any problem in this case? Now guys, next thing. if 10.0.0.1, just think like here we have a Google server. What we have? IP address of Google server is, let's say, 172.168.1.1. So whenever user will send traffic, source will be 10.0.0.1, destination will be 172.168.1. Now, whenever traffic will be received on the inside interface, on which interface? Router will always translate source. Router will always translate in which, in what IP? It will translate it. This is actually a. It will translate it into a public IP. Which public IP? Which we have specified. Let's say we have specified here 200.200.200.1. This thing is clear? It is translated and destination is still the same, 172.168.1.1. Now router will check the destination and router will throw the traffic to the ISP. ISP will again check the destination. ISP will throw the traffic to the Google. Now Google will check source. Google will throw the traffic to the ISP. Now ISP will check again destination. When the traffic will come back, this thing will be destination and this thing will be source. This thing is clear? जब ट्रैफिक वापस आएगा सोर्स क्या होगा? Destination क्या होगा? 200.200.200.a. Now ISP will check to which customer I have assigned 200.200.200.1. To this customer he will send traffic back to me. Now traffic is entering on which interface? Outside interface. This time what thing will be changed?
Public to private.
Public to private. It means when the traffic is coming from outside, actually the source is 172.168.1.1, destination was 200.200.200.1. Traffic is hitting on which interface? Outside. It means what thing will be changed? Destination. It will change destination to. Now router will forward traffic to 10.0.0.1. This thing is clear? Now try to understand one most important thing. When router is sending traffic to the internet, router has to make an entry on himself that I have translated this IP into this IP. Only then when router will get back the reply, router will get to know that I have to change this particular destination into which private IP. मैं क्या बोला? जब राउटर ट्रैफिक को बाहर भेज रहा है तो उसे क्या बनाना पड़ेगा? अपने ऊपर एक टेबल, डेटाबेस, जिसमें वो क्या एंट्री रखेगा कि भाई मैंने किस सोर्स को, मैंने जाते हुए किस सोर्स को ट्रांसलेट किया था, क्योंकि आते हुए उसे सेम डेस्टिनेशन को भी क्या करना है? ट्रांसलेट. क्या करना है? अगर एंट्री नहीं होगी तो ट्रांसलेशन नहीं होगा. इट मींस whenever you perform NAT on the router, router will make a table. Router will make a table. This thing is clear?
Suppose दो यूजर एक साथ ही
वो आगे का केस है, उसकी बात करेंगे अभी. अभी मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूं why table is important. आपको समझ में आया टेबल की जरूरत क्या है? 2, 4, 10 यूजर सबकी बात करेंगे अभी.
ये नेट में तो नहीं हो पाएगा ना, जो आप ये बोलते हो इस पर्टिकुलर इसके वो एंट्री बनाएगा टेबल.
हाँ,
उसी टाइम किसी दूसरे ने किया
होगा. मैं कह रहा हूं ना सब होगा. अभी रुक जा, यूजर का पर्सपेक्टिव बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. नाउ द थिंग इज, दिस थिंग इज क्लियर टू यू व्हाई वी नीड अ टेबल. फाइन. And what do you mean by inside interface and what do you mean by outside interface? This thing is clear? ये चीज clear हुई? Now, one more different perspective. This is router of Google. This is switch of Google. These are Google servers. What do we have here? Google servers. This is your router. This is your company. There are 4 terms used in NAT. One is fine. What is inside local? Inside local is my private IP. Is my, what is inside global? My public IP. It means inside local is always translated into inside global. Yes or no? Fine. What is outside local? ISP, sorry. If you are talking about Google, Google's private IP. What is outside global? Google public IP. Google public IP. This thing is clear? Now, just tell me one thing. You can ping Google. Google can ping you? No. Why? Because Google never know about your inside local address. In the same way, you are pinging Google server, but actually you don't know which server you are pinging. Because you don't know about the outside local address of Google server. You don't know about outside local address of Google server. This thing is clear? I can ping Google server, but Google cannot ping me because Google only know about my inside global address. Google never know about my inside local address. उसे मेरी प्राइवेट आईपी के बारे में क्या पता जब वो उस तक गई नहीं है. This thing is clear? Okay. We only know about Google outside global address. We never know about Google outside local address.
Ultimately हम पिंग करेंगे outside global IP.
Yes. और Google भी हमें पिंग करेगा तो किसको करेगा? Inside global IP. Global तक ही जाता है. When you trace route also it will go up to global. It will never enter into the network. Fine. This thing is clear? Now, guys, NAT is basically of three types. One is
सर अगर यूजर के पास भी पब्लिक आईपी
हो सकती है,
फिर वो आईएसपी से कम्युनिकेट कैसे करेगा?
सीधी बात करेगा, नेट की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी. There is no need of NAT if user is assigned with the public IP. Okay, think like this. I am sitting in the LAN. I assign my user, my laptop a public IP that ISP has provided me. I just know one thing, how to reach my gateway. After that, all communication will be same. My router will send traffic out of my network.
सर मतलब अपन को आईएसपी जो देता है आईपी से 192.168 देता है.
नहीं, वो तेरी प्राइवेट आईपी होती है.
मेरी जो आईएसपी है मतलब
तेरी प्राइवेट आईपी है वो.
हाँ ठीक है.
कोई भी अपने घर पे बैठा इंटरनेट चला रहा है, उसकी आईपी सेम है जो तेरी है. वो सबकी प्राइवेट है. हाँ.
मैं अगर उसको चेंज कर देता हूँ 10 डॉट समथिंग में तो इंटरनेट चलना बंद है.
तो क्यों बंद हो जाता है? बिकॉज ऑन द राउटर यू हैव डिफाइंड that when source will be 192.168.1.1 only then you have to translate. कर सकते हो, एक्सेस कर लो अपने राउटर को. You can access your router through GUI. You have a gateway on your computer. You have defined a gateway. Just open that gateway in your browser. He will ask a username and password. There will be NAT settings. Go to the NAT settings. Change the private IP into the IPs you want to change. Yes, you can do that.
तो मोबाइल से हम चलाते हैं वो पब्लिक आईपी
डिपेंड करता है मोबाइल से नेटवर्क आप कैसे चला रहे हो.
जो आईपी अपन को प्रोवाइड करा रहा है वो आईपी क्या कौन से
पब्लिक आईपी होगी. क्या पता आईएसपी ने अपने एंड पे नेट कर रखा हो, तेरा यहाँ से टावर तक का कम्युनिकेशन प्राइवेट कराता हो, आगे क्या कर देता हो, नेट कर देता हो. इट विल डिपेंड कि मेरा नेटवर्क कॉन्फ़िगर्ड कैसे है.
सर पब्लिक आईपी पर IPv6 है तो वो कर लेगा.
इन केस ऑफ IPv6 देयर इज नो नीड ऑफ नेट. तभी IPv6 लेके आए कि नेट वेट की जरूरत.
तो सर आईएसपी की पूरी क्लास फेल देता है मतलब पब्लिक आईपी हम परचेज करते हैं.
पूल खरीदते हैं वो तो
It's a hierarchy. Fine. ISP purchases IP from either. IPs खरीदी एक रीजन में आई, आगे डिवाइड कर दे like this. ISP has purchased a pool 192.168.1.0/24. पूल खरीदा 192.168.1.0/29 कस्टमर ए को दे दिया. 192.168.1.8/29 कस्टमर बी को दे दिया. इस पूल को आगे क्या कर दिया, सब डिवाइड. ISP will always subdivide its pool. कई लोग तो पता क्या करते हैं, ISP से भी एक बड़ा पूल खरीद लेते हैं और अपने यहाँ छोटा ISP बना लेते हैं. Yes. Okay. Okay. You have heard about this company? Ccna. What they are doing? The same thing. Yes. Many of my friends are doing the same work, and they are earning a lot of money. Like I am purchasing, let's say, a pool of 1000 IPs. I can assign it easily to 100 customers, and I am earning money. Yes, you can also do this time. People usually do.
इंडिया में भी आईएसपी जो सबको प्रोवाइड करती है
रिलायंस BSNL
इंडिया का भी एक कंपनी है, इंडिया में भी एक कंपनी है जो सबको प्रोवाइड करती है आईपीस. दैट इज नॉट आईना. मेरे को उस कंपनी का नाम नहीं ध्यान. BSNL तो यार एक गवर्नमेंट कंपनी है जो ट्रांसमिशन सर्विस प्रोवाइड करती है उस कंपनी का नाम कुछ है. कोई एयरटेल वेयरटेल में जॉब करता है उससे पूछना क्या बोलते हैं उसको, याद नहीं है पर एक कंपनी. ये सही बात है. फाइन. Now there are three type of NAT. One is static NAT. Static NAT means 1 to. Static NAT means 1 to 1 NAT. It means you will define a static statement on the router. What you will define? That convert this inside local into this inside global, and this entry will always remain in the NAT table. This entry will always remain in the NAT table. Okay. Now there will be a question, sir, if I am using 1-to-1 NAT and if I have 1000 users in my network, how many static IP how many public IPs I need? 1000. Is it possible for me to buy 1000 public IPs? No. It means static NAT is not a solution for users. For users you will never configure static NAT. For what thing you will use static NAT then? Okay. Let's say you are hosting a server in your network. But you are hosting server. Now for static NAT entry will be permanent, that this inside local will be converted into this inside global. Yes or no? Yes or no? This inside local will be converted into this inside. Okay, let's say inside local is 10.0.0.1. 10.0.0.1 is converted into, like this is ISP, and these are users who want to access this server. And outside global is, let's say, 200.0.0.1. It means this interface is having IP 200.0.0.1. Now first thing is, why this entry should be permanent? Because you don't know from outside when a user can access your server. आपको नहीं पता बाहर से आपके सर्वर को कब कौन यूजर एक्सेस करेगा, तो एंट्री हमेशा टेबल में होनी. Entry must be present in the table because you don't know when the user is going to access your, and if the router is not able to find the entry, router will never do translation. Router will never do. Okay. Again the concept is same, guys. This interface is called inside. Agree? Just think like he is sitting in his network and his IP address is A. Whenever he want to hit the server, he will hit the server on the public IP or private IP? On the public IP. It means he will send source is equal to A, destination will be equal to 200.0.0.1. It will be received on this interface of router. Now router will say this interface belong to which net, which zone? Outside zone. It means in this traffic, what thing I have to translate? Destination. Now router will check the NAT table that I have to translate 200.0.0.1 into which IP? 10.0.0.1. It will translate destination into 10.0.0.1. traffic will be received by the server. Now server will reply. When server will reply, source will be 10.0.0.1, destination will be A. It will be received on the inside interface or outer. Now router will say I have to change source. The router will change the source into 200.0.0.1 and destination will be A and traffic will be received by the user. This thing is clear? So flow will always remain same. Either you are sending traffic from outside or you are sending traffic from inside.
So if there are so many hosts sending data at the same time,
Okay, then
how that will convert?
so what is the problem?
How that will get to know when the reply will come from a server?
No, there is no problem. ISP switch. This is my server. I have an entry. Translate 10.0.0.1 into 200.0.0.1. Here IP is clear. Now let's say it is 20.0.0.1. It is hitting. Source will be clear. Destination will be. It will hit the router. Router will say traffic is hitting on which interface. It will change the destination. Clear. Destination will be changed to. Traffic will be sent to the server. At the same time 20.0.0.2 is hitting. Source is. Destination is. It will change it to 10.0.0.1. Now server have to reply. And server will reply. Source will be. Destination will be. It will be changed to. Fine. And in this case it will be changed to. Again 10.0.0.1 is changed to 200.0.0.1. There will be no problem. Multiple users can access your server at the same time. There will be no issue. I can draw a full entry table, man. No issue. Look here. First time source is. Destination is. Fine. It is translated to. Now when server will reply, source will be. Destination will be. It will be translated to. Second time source will be. Destination will be. Send it to. Now source will be. It is translated to. Destination will be. Where there is a confliction. There will be no confliction. Guys, try to understand. There is no change with the source. There is no change with this public IP. I am not changing this public IP. I am not changing this. I am translating my own IP again and again. So, if multiple users are also hitting the same server, there will be no problem. Yes.
जब होस्ट तक रिप्लाई जाएगा लास्ट तक उसे वापस कैसे पता लगेगा इसी होस्ट
हाँ भाई तेरे सामने है ना. सोर्स कौन था? होस्ट को जब होस्ट के पास रिप्लाई गया, जब होस्ट के पास when host is getting the traffic, उसके पास सोर्स क्या आया? पब्लिक आईपी. उसने रिप्लाई मारा पब्लिक आईपी में. क्या इशू आया? तेरे सामने है दो सोर्स इकट्ठे भेज रहे हैं ट्रैफिक. कहां प्रॉब्लम आ रही है? तू इसको डायनामिक नेट से कंपेयर कर रहा है ना. इशू है. जबकि बाय डिफॉल्ट स्टैटिक नेट इज बाय डायरेक्शनल इन नेचर. What do you mean by bidirectional? That you have to configure it for only one side. For the other side it will work automatically. For the other side it will work? Yes. You have configured it for translating just 10,001 into 200,001. It is itself translating 200,001 into 10,001. So there will be no issues. Always keep this thing in mind that static net is bidirectional in nature. What is the nature of static net? Bidirectional. Now, second kind of net is dynamic net. Now, this is ISP. This is your router. Here we have users. What you will do in dynamic net, you will define a pool of public IPs. What you will define? Pool of public IPs. Fine. Now, let's say here you have a private network. You have IP 10.1, 10.1, 10.2, 10.3 up to 10.10. And you have five IPs in the pool. How many IPs? Let's say 20.1, 20.2, 20.3, 20.4, 20.5. This is the pool of public IPs. Now 10.1 is sending the traffic. What router will do? Router will check the pool. Which IP is free? 20.1. Router will translate 10.1 into 20.1. And router will make a dynamic entry in the NAT table that I have translated 10.1 into 20.1, and now router will wait for the reply. When the reply will come, router will send back the reply to the user. Now 20.1 is free. Now 20.1 is free. Now again when 10.2 will send the traffic, again 20.1 is free. He will again translate it into 20.1. But at the same time 10.3 is also sending the traffic. So it will translate it into 20.2. 10.4 is also sending the traffic. It will translate it into 20.3. Like this, when all public IPs are used, your traffic will never go out of your network. It means, like I have 5 public IPs and 5 users are here accessing internet at the same time. Except these 5 users, no one else can access internet because public IPs are no more free. Public IPs are no more. भाई जितनी मेरे पास public IPs होंगी उतने यूजर इंटरनेट एक्सेस कर पाएंगे. And dynamic net is always unidirectional in nature. What do you mean by unidirectional? Try to understand this thing. When 10.1 is sending traffic to Google, source will be 10.1, destination will be Google. Traffic will be received by this router. What this router will do? This router will translate 10.1 into 20.1 and make a entry in its NAT table. And this entry is not permanent. This entry is temporary. This entry is temporary. After some time, this entry will be deleted. It means 20.1 can be used by this user also and by another user also. This thing is clear? This entry is not permanent. Why it is unidirectional? Because if someone is hitting your public IP from outside, router will convert it according to the entry present in the table, and it will not be a specific user. It will be dynamic. मैं क्या कहना चाहता हूँ, आप सब एक प्राइवेट नेटवर्क के पार्ट हो, भाई मैं एक नेट राउटर हूँ. When you are hitting on me, what I am doing? I am translating you into a public IP. When you are hitting, I am translating into a public IP. Now, first thing is, I have a pool of public IPs. What I have? Pool. Let's say in my pool, how many IPs I have? 10. So how many users can access internet at the same time? 10. Now, 10 users are allocated into the 10 different public IPs. Now someone from outside is hitting me on a public IP. To which private IP I will translate him? The entry I will find in my table. And it is dynamic in nature. It is not static. This thing is clear? Why it is not static? So that's why we always say that, what we say? that dynamic net is always unidirectional. But guys, there is still a problem. Problem is, if I have 1000 users in my network, how many public IPs I have to purchase? 1000. It is not a solution. So the solution for this thing is PAT. Solution for this thing is PAT stands for port address translation. What we call PAT? Port address translation. Port address translation. In this case,
डेस्टिनेशन से वापस कैसे होगा, रिप्लाई कैसे होगा,
किसमें?
डेस्टिनेशन से गूगल से आपको वापस आना है, कैसे होगा,
किस केस में?
इस टाइम
10.1 is translated into 20.1. 20.1 is my public IP. It will send traffic to the Google server. Google will reply me on 20.1. Router will check the NAT table that I have translated 10.1 into.
टेबल में चेंज हो गया ना,
ऐसे कैसे चेंज हो गया? फिर कभी रिप्लाई आएगा ही नहीं.
ये तो नेट टेबल है ना।
हाँ, this is called NAT table. ऐसे कैसे चेंज हो गया? घर की टेबल थोड़ा ना चेंज हो गया. और ऐसे थोड़ा होगा. If I have allocated a private public IP to you, at the same time I cannot allocate that public IP to anyone else.
सर इसमें फिर सेशंस भी चलेंगे,
भाई सेशन ही तो चलते हैं.
जैसे कि मुझे रिप्लाई आ रही है,
हाँ
ब्राउज़र डिस्कनेक्ट नहीं किया,
हाँ,
ठीक है, तो वो सेशंस के थ्रू उसके वो स्टोर करके
आपका सेशन नहीं है ना, वो राउटर की नेट टेबल है. अब तू फेसबुक खोल के बैठा हुआ है आराम से, अपना कुछ नहीं कर रहा, वो तेरी नेट एंट्री उठा देगा. उसका अपना अलग टाइम है, वो तेरे सेशन में नहीं चल रहा है. इफ यू आर नॉट यूजिंग इंटरनेट, वो तेरे को नेट एंट्री क्यों देगा? नेट एंट्री विल बी डिलीटेड आफ्टर सम टाइम. ऐसे थोड़ा होगा. अब मैं YouTube पे बैठ के वीडियो देख रहा हूं ना, मेरे पास कुछ रिसीव हो रहा है कंटिन्यूसली, उसमें मेरा सेशन कभी भी बंद नहीं होगा.
पब्लिक आईपी हिट ही करता है
वो बार बार हिट करता रहेगा ना. इट विल कीप ऑन हिटिंग. बट जस्ट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. इफ I have just opened google.com and I am sitting here idle. I am not hitting Google server anymore. So after some time entry will be deleted from the NAT table. And again when you will hit, you will be translated into a different public IP. Now solution is PAT. What will happen in PAT? That all private users are translated into a single public IP. Into a single public IP. आज ऐसी मत गिरा देना, बहुत ही लगेगा सर पे. Now look here, what will happen? Router switch. Here we have users 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, 10.6. I have a public IP 200.0.0.1 and this is ISP. This is Google server. Fine. When 10.1 will try to communicate with Google, 10.1 will be translated into. But at the same time, what router will do? Router will assign a port number. Router will assign a to the request. That when 10.1 is translated, let's say source port number was 11 and destination was 80. Clear? When 10.2 will send the traffic, it will be also translated into the same IP, but router will assign it a. Who is assigning the port numbers? Router. That source port is 12 and destination port is again 80. When the reply will come back, he will reply on the basis of port numbers. He will reply on the basis of port numbers. He will differentiate on the basis of. So in this case, we can use a single public IP for all the private users. For all the, and this is the technology deployed nowadays. Any problem?
तो सर ये पैड जो है लेयर 4 तक का इंफॉर्मेशन यूज करता है और बाकी को लेयर 3 करता है.
मैं स्टैटिक नेट में भी और डायनामिक नेट में भी आई कैन ट्रांसलेट पोर्ट्स, पर वो आपके सिलेबस में नहीं है. मैं पोर्ट ट्रांसलेट करा सकता हूं, Like I am translating layer 3 information, you can also translate layer 4 information. How? This is also a good question. Okay, let me give you a simple example. Guys, all of you know that FTP is working on which port number? So it is very easy for an attacker, if he knows your public IP, to attack your FTP server. So what you can do, this is ISP. These are your customer who are accessing your FTP server, and this is a this is a attacker. Just think like these three users will always access your public IP. Now you will tell them, whenever you want to access my FTP server, never hit on port number 1, hit on port number 100, hit on port number, and on this router I will tell this router, whenever a request will come for port number 100, translate it into port number 21. This is not port translation, this is still static net. What I am saying, in static net you can translate IPs also and port numbers also. This thing is clear? ये मैनुअली डिफाइंड होगा. तो जब भी यहां से मेरे को हिट करेगा FTP करने के लिए, किस पोर्ट पे हिट करेगा? 100 पे. मैं उसको ट्रांसलेट किस पे करूंगा? 21 पे. This thing is clear? So entry will be, there will be a source IP. Okay. Let's say IP address of server is 10.0.0.1. Inside global is 200.0.0.1. Source port is 100. Destination is 21. Okay. I want 21 to be translated into 100. This is source. This is also source. This is destination. This is okay. Inside local. Inside global. Inside local port number. Inside global port number. Fine. When this attacker will attack, attacker will always hit on 21. This entry will never match 21. So attacker will never able to enter your network. Attacker जब भी हिट करेगा FTP सर्वर पे, किस पोर्ट पे हिट करेगा? 21 पे. राउटर कहेगा ये एंट्री तो मैच ही नहीं हो रही. मैं ट्रांसलेट सिर्फ किसको करूंगा जब पोर्ट नंबर क्या आएगा? 100. I will never translate 21. So this will be the case. और बहुत सारी बातें यार जो हो सकती हैं. What people usually do, people change HTTP port numbers also. Fine. Then when request will come for port number 80, I will translate 80 into this specific port number. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो प्रैक्टिकल करेंगे देखेंगे. Fine. But in CCNA, this is enough. That you know about static net, which is used in case of servers. You must know about dynamic net, which is nowhere used, and you must know about PAT, which is used everywhere. This thing is clear? So PAT is the main thing, because in PAT most of the private networks are translated into a single IP, and that is the benefit we are getting. That if I have 10,000 users in a company, how many private IPs we need? 2 or 3, not more than that. This thing is clear? That's all for the day.